Please help me welcome one of our regular presenters, Chef Justice Stewart. He is the author of Mastering the Art of Sous Vide Cooking, named one of the best sous vide cookbooks of 2019 by Book Riot. Chef Justice was recognized by the National Black Chefs Association as the first African-American to publish a cookbook about sous vide. He is a former sous chef at Madison Square Garden and Jean George's Kitchen, serving VIP clients and celebrities. He is the founder of Gourmet Deconstructed Personal Chef Services, which offers intimate parties and private dining for clients in the New York tri-state area. You can find his food blog at gourmetdeconstructed.com. Known for his love of exotic game, it's only fitting that Chef Justice will be showing us how he prepares Steak Au Poivre today. Welcome, Chef Justice.
Welcome to the 2023 It's for Friends Showcase. I hope all is well and you're having a good new year so far. My name is Justice Stewart and I'm a chef and cookbook author out of Brooklyn, New York. Today, I'm going to prepare Steak Au Poivre, which translates into steak with peppercorn sauce. This is a popular bistro dish in France and usually served with frites, or in English, we call them French fries. My twist on this dish will be to prepare this delicious sauce with a crusted emu steak. I hope you enjoy. Okay, guys, let's get started. These are the things you're going to need. First, we need some beef stock, about a cup. I have some rosemary and thyme, fresh herbs. I have some green peppercorns. I purchased these off of Amazon, very inexpensive. They're manufactured in France. This is classic to this dish that we're making today. But get these if you really want to do a genuine recipe. We have some shallots. We have some cognac. We only need about a quarter cup of that. Peppercorns. This is optional if you want to give it a crust before you sear it. We have a couple of cloves of garlic here. We have some kosher salt, and we have some heavy cream and canola oil and olive oil. Now we have emu fan fillet. Emu is very close to ostrich. As you can see, it just looks like a piece of beef. You can see where the grain, where the grain goes. This is the fan fillet. It's cut from the inner thigh. It's similar to filet mignon when cooked, very tender cut, especially when cooked sous vide. What we're gonna do is remove a little bit of this silver skin. It's not too much. As you can see, it's really no fat on this cut. So just be careful when you're trying to cook it. You don't wanna cook it in sous vide too long either. But yeah, this is similar to ostrich. And emu has become a very popular meat nowadays. I don't really consider it wild game. It's high in iron, protein, vitamin C. It has the same amount of cholesterol and fat as poultry. It's very healthy cut of meat. Now, we wanted to take this, it looks like it's a thin layer of silver skin, but don't worry, most of this will burn off. If you're uncomfortable with it, you can just peel it off like I'm doing here. But it's so thin that it'll basically cook off as you're searing it once you begin to sear it. So what I decided to do with this, I decided to throw a pepper crust on it after taking it out of the sous vide bath before I sear it and give it a nice pepper crust. So once you trim it all down and you have it to your liking, what you can do now is give it a heavy seasoning of salt. Don't add any pepper because we're making a peppercorn sauce, and we're also going to crust it with the peppercorns. We want to take a couple of the herbs, maybe a sprig of rosemary, a sprig of thyme, and I don't have my vacuum sealer with me. I'm at family's house. So I'm just going to use the water displacement method. You can throw a little bit of olive oil in the bag with it. Okay, so now we're gonna get this into the water bath using the water displacement method. One thing I learned is taking it out of the sous vide. It's a little harder to keep the peppercorns stuck to the steak. As you can see, a few of them, they're not totally crushed, but they'll be fine. Once they're cooked, they'll be in the sauce and they'll soften up a bit for us. Okay, now you want to take this out and you want to entirely dry the filet. Keep in mind, you can also discard any juices left in it. We don't entirely need it, but you can also throw it into the sauce. Okay, now, you might want to throw a little bit of olive oil or canola oil on top of it before trying to crust it. It may make your peppercorns stick a little better. I didn't do that, so I had a problem with it sticking. Or this is an optional ingredient anyway. You can skip the peppercorns altogether, but I think it gives it a nice peppery taste outside of the salty green peppercorns. Okay, you want to salt it again. Okay, now let's get this out. And any spots that you see may have missed, you can also use your hands to take some peppercorns and add them to those spots. As you see, mine came out. Yeah, if you have that problem, just mash it in, no problem. Okay, we want to get a heavy bottom skillet, medium high, you know, just don't put too much oil, but put enough, maybe about 3 tablespoons. Now let's test to see if this is hot. Okay, that's pretty good. Let's throw this in. Okay, I like to use my hand. You can use a spatula if you want, or some tongs to totally press the meat down to get a nice crust on it and a nice sear on the meat. But this is the reason why we don't put too much oil in the pan with it, so it doesn't pop. Okay, let's have a look at it. Still a nice crust. All right, let's flip this. As you can see, some of the peppercorns came off, but it's totally okay. There's more than enough peppercorns. I'm actually gonna remove some out of the pot before we make our sauce. You can see we have a couple of spots that are toasted. Those are gonna be great. Okay, we want to take this out, set it aside for 10 minutes. You can tent it with some aluminum foil to keep it warm. And now we're gonna make our sauce. All right, I scooped a few of the peppercorns out so it wasn't too many, because we're gonna add green peppercorns. We're gonna start with 2 tablespoons of butter. And we're also going to add 1 large shallot to the pan also. Okay, now we're gonna just stir this in for a little while until the shallots soften a bit. You'll be scraping up any brown bits off the bottom of the pan. And this also softens up the peppercorns that burned off of the steak. Okay, now you want to add your garlic. We're gonna stir and let this simmer for just only 45 seconds to a minute. Okay, now we're gonna add the green peppercorns. Let those simmer a bit. Now this part, we're gonna flambe some cognac. I used a little more than I should have, but add a quarter cup. Take it off the fire if you're an amateur at this before you light it. But you know, this, you're gonna let this flambe for a little while. As you see, I put a little bit too much, but it's fine. I'm a professional, guys. Okay, we're gonna let the cognac burn down. Give it a few stirs. Yeah, lower your heat to low and allow the flames to burn out. And now we have the base to our sauce before we put the stock and cream in. Now you have the toasted peppercorns that are cooking in this sauce. They softened up and they're not as harsh as they would be normally. Now you want to add about a cup of unsalted beef stock, a little bit of salt, and you want to let that come to a simmer. Okay, as you see, we're coming up to a simmer now. We stirred it a little bit, and now we're gonna add our cream in. We're gonna add about a cup of cream. Give that a stir. And now we're gonna let this simmer down for about 5-10 minutes until it thickens. I also, 5 minutes in, I like to throw the some more fresh thyme into the pan. That's also optional. And there you have it, a nice thickened sauce. Now it's time to check on this emu. Well, let's taste the sauce first. Yep, I think that's about right. Okay, now let's get to the emu. All right, we let this rest for about 10 minutes. Let's see how it came out. Yep, sous vide perfection. You see how lean the meat is. You see how tender it is. It slices easy. You're gonna have a nice seasoned pepper crust. Oh yeah, by the way, I did say steak frites, right? Okay, let's get this delicious looking meat onto the plate and bless it with some of this Steak Au Poivre sauce. Hey, classic bistro food right at home. Look at that. And I can let you know it was quite delicious. And there you have the starter show, the emu. Thanks so much for watching, guys.
Man, there are a few things I love as much as red meat with a peppercorn cream sauce. That looked absolutely incredible. I love trying different game. Most of the game I eat is Pacific Northwest game, but I have had ostrich, which I imagine is pretty similar to emu. Chef Justice will have to correct me if I'm wrong. And now I'm really excited to try to get my hands on some emu. I'm going to have to try it. Please make sure to give Chef Justice some love in the comments and thank him for that awesome demo.